Hello, my name is Foxington, and today I'm going to be making as fast as tutorial, but as a understanding as a tutorial on how to use 3 different programs on how to either download your Spotify or your YouTube playlist. Now, I'm going to be mainly showing the Spotify way, but you can definitely use the later half of the portion where I get to Yt-dlp to know how to download your YouTube playlist as well. So we're going to go ahead and start doing with the Spotify playlist. And to give a little bit of a background of why I'm making this tutorial is because I am someone, if I open up my Spotify, as you can see here, I mainly only have one playlist. I've had the same playlist since 2012, and I've just been expanding on it. And I have over 575 songs. Now, 2 of these are locally downloaded because they are at least some music that I have kind of made and I kind of like to listen to. So 2 of them are not going to go ahead and be downloaded. Um, mainly I'm only downloading 573 songs. We're going to be using command line tools. And if you don't know what command line tools are, they are tools that run in the terminal. And I know a lot of people see PowerShell or command prompt and they get a little scared, they don't know how to work it. But I am not someone who uses this all too often. I mean, I use it for ipconfig and stuff like that. But I will be making as a easy tutorial so you know how to download everything and use the command line to properly install everything. So the first thing that you're going to be needing to get is SpotDL. And SpotDL does have a few requisites that it needs to run. But you're going to go to Google, just look up SpotDL and click on the first thing that will take you to the GitHub. And then you're going to go ahead and go scroll down and you're going to click refer to the installation guide for more details. You're going to click on this and this is going to take you to the readthedocs.io. This is a very useful page because not only does this show you how to install, but it also gives you some helpful tips on how to use the program more in a better way. So the prerequisites that I was talking about for SpotDL, one of them is Visual C++ to the 2019. You may have this installed, but if not, just go ahead and install it. The other thing is you're going to need Python 3.7 or above, and you're going to need to add it to the path. So what this means is, so you can just, if you don't know what Python is in a coding language for Windows. So you can just go ahead and search up Python, go to welcomepython.org and go to download, and you can download 3.13.4. The latest version, it's not going to stop support in 2019, but I do, it is good to update it when it has updates. But 13.14 is right now in a pre-release stage, so it's definitely not in a stage that you would want to download it. That's why they have you download the 3.13, not the 3.14. You can also, but in the installation process, before you hit install now, you're going to want to add this to the path, and you're going to want to do this for FFmpeg. What FFmpeg is the actual translator that will be translating and downloading the video. You can use this for, it's used for video, but I'm going to be using it for audio. You just go ahead and also search up that, and you're going to go ahead and I believe you can install FFmpeg in a different way. I think you can do it with, what is it called? I have it in my, I keep forgetting the name of it. Sorry if this is a little bit of a raw video. I'm trying to make this for people who have been asking about it, but let me quickly. I know it's in here. It is. That's Python. Okay. Don't think. Oh, scoop. Download. I think it will. Yeah, you can do it if you have Scoop installed. If you don't know how to install Scoop, so I think it will show you in the download. So if you look it up, go to here, go to Windows, and then port. I know it has a way to do it through Scoop. I've done it through Scoop. That's how you get the clone. I don't want the clone. I want to do it through Scoop. Give me a second. Did I use pip instead? I might have used pip. I wouldn't be surprised if I used pip. I've used, there's different things you can do, but scoop is one of them I definitely have used. I know I did. Because you have to add it to the path. But the way you do it to the path. Yeah, there we go. So you would use it. Oh, it just does. Oh, okay. I think we're using a package manager. I think it does just automatically. If I remember right. As long as you're able to use scoop update FFmpeg, you should be able to use, yeah, as long as you have scoop installed. And if you don't know how to install scoop, just, you know, in scoop Windows, you're going to need to run this command, you launch PowerShell, and then I don't know where the invoked record I used. Okay, well, I'm just going to go to Spoop. Scoop's just going to tell me. So this is the exact command that you're going to run, and this is how you're going to install Scoop, and you do that in the same terminal from here. So once you have Scoop installed, install FFmpeg, update it, make sure it is installed. Once everything is installed, you can check with Python if Python's properly installed by running it in the terminal by doing Python version. You can see Python 3.13.4. My lord, that is very hard to say. Oh, I actually think. Oh, you can actually, if you're using, if you're only using FPM, you can actually install it to your local directory by doing spot download. So if you want, after you installed spot, you can you would use pip. So you would run this command to install spot. I'm not going to run it, but after you have spot installed, you can do spotdll/2 and it will download it to its directory, and then you don't have to do it from there. I've used it for other things, so I have it on my main computer, but the method I just briefly showed you was the way. But if you're just going to be using it to do it like this, just install it directly to the directory of where it is. After you have this installed, you can go ahead and see if it's installed by typing SpotDL, and it's going to pull up a whole bunch of things. It might look a little scary, but we're going to go over a few things and what they mean and stuff like that. You can even see the download FPM right there. So what we are going to do now is, how Spot works is when you open up a terminal, depending on where you open up it'll depend on where it's opening up. So if you see here, it's right now open up on my desktop. So if I was to run SpotDL on here, all my music would be on my desktop. That's a little messy. I have a folder in my documents that has FLAC. It's music FLAC, but I'm going to go ahead and do a new process. So I'm just going to call this and call it music. So we got a nice music file. And when you're in a folder, you can actually right click in it and hit open in terminal. This will open up PowerShell, and now you can see that we are in the music. So now when I run SpotDL, it's going to go ahead and do it. Now there is going to be a few things that you're going to need. I should have not closed this. But as I've said, the usage tab on here is a very useful thing because there's a whole bunch of things that you are going to probably want to do and change, because if you just, how SpotDL would work is regularly, if you do SpotDL and you can put the URL for your the song or your playlist in which they're downloading it. But we need to add parameters. If you don't add any parameters, it's going to use the default parameters, which by default, the format's MP3, which you might be fine with it, but I am someone who is a music advocate, and if you don't know what lossless audio is, I would definitely give a chance and listen to it. There is a lot more with it. I will definitely give a disclaimer though. Lossless audio does have the impact of more storage. So when I first downloaded everything, I did download it as an MP3 file. Out of the 573 songs, it only took about 2 gigabytes. Now I have everything in FLAC, which is a lossless audio format, and it's a little bit over 10 gigabytes. So keep that in mind if you are tight on storage, because you're going to be putting this on your phone, or even if you keep it on your computer. Keep this in mind that it's different in storage. But one of the things that we're going to definitely need. Now, I'm going to give a disclaimer about this part because I am not using MP4 or Opus. I can use, I use Opus if I'm using Yt-dlp, and I will explain why. It has to do a little bit with the parameters, but the uh, biggest thing is it says that you need YouTube Premium to at least have the highest quality, but I have used the cookies and I do not have YouTube Premium, and I was able to use FLAC, which in my opinion, it's still as good as MP4 and Opus, but I haven't tried this. You can go ahead and give it a try. But to do so, you would have to use either a get cookies extension to get the cookies of the current of YouTube Music. Now, I am going to go ahead and give a disclaimer, as some people should. Yeah, never send this to an outside with open source. Definitely, this is, keep in mind, this is going to be for your personal use only. The only thing I can say is I can't say if any of these are scraping your data, so use these with caution. But you would go ahead and do here. You click get the cookies, and then you would save it as a cookie.txt. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly do that on a off screen because this keep in mind this does have some little bit important data. So you would hit export. Just to give you an idea of how this is, it's going to pull up this window. Now you're going to want to store it into your SpotDL directory, and I can show you where it is. You want to open up a file explorer, and you're going to go into where your Windows is located. And if you click on users, click on your user. You may have multiple users, and if you scroll down, you should see a .spotdl. As you can see, I actually already have a cookies file in here, so I don't need to do that. But you would want to at least remove the YouTube music and just save it as a cookie. It's easier when you're putting the parameter in because you don't have to type YouTube music because it has to know what file you're trying to read. And you want to put it into here because while you're doing the parameters, if you don't put it into the directory, it's gonna not know what file it is, and you would have to put a path to that file. And that could be tricky if you're just trying to make this as sort of a parameter as possible. But once you have that installed, you should be good to go ahead and start using SpotDL. So you're going to type SpotDL, and one of the things I am going to show you are some of the good parameters that you should be using. So one of the things that you can do is embed music into your things. I don't personally do that because the music players, because I use MusicBee or Oxley on Android, and they don't have any music functions. But if you would want to do that, you can go ahead and type -- lyrics and then use the lyric function that you would want to do. I'm not too sure on this, but the main ones that I'm going to be focusing on are bitrate, format, and cookie file name. So, what you're gonna what bitrate is the song that it's kind of like what is recorded at. Now by default, it's on MP3 at 128 kilohertz. I use auto. A lot of people, it does say to use you know, disable for note the best. You should use bitrate. I've used bitrate auto, and I've had no issues. It seems just fine. But if you want to use bitrate disabled, it's your call. But basically, you would want to put the parameters before you put the URL for your song. So to give you an idea, once you have a terminal open, and you're going to want to type in SpotDL, and the first parameter that we're going to do is the cookie file. So you're going to do -- cookie - file, and then you're going to put cookies.txt. So now it's going to go ahead and look in this directory for a cookie file. The next thing is we're going to go ahead and do the bitrate. And I'm going to go ahead and set the bitrate again to auto. And then the format. Now, the formatted support is MP3, FLAC, OGG, Opus, and MP4. Now, keep in mind, in my opinion, they say Opus and MP4, but I feel like FLAC is just fine. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am going to download it in MP3 because it is less storage, and I am not trying to download 10 gigabytes worth of FLAC media. But you would just go ahead and just do -- format, and you're going to just go ahead and just do, if you want to do FLAC, you put in FLAC. But for now, I'm going to put MP3. Now, at this point, you're pretty much good and to go. So what you can go ahead and do is go over to your playlist, and you can go ahead and do share, and you can click copy playlist. And then afterwards, you're going to go ahead and place it in, and then you're just going to go ahead and hit enter. It's going to go ahead and start queuing up your playlist. You can see here process queue, and then afterwards you're going to go ahead and see it's detected 573, not the 575, because local tracks, it says none, but there's 2 local tracks. I know this for a fact. So as you can see here, it's going to go ahead and start downloading the songs, and once it does, it'll say what's downloaded. Now there's going to be a couple of errors you're going to encounter while this is going on. I'm gonna leave this running until I encounter the main one, but the errors that you are going to want to look out for. Now there's a few. There are some where it kind of means that SpotDL can't do anything, that you're gonna have to use a different tool, which is gonna be YouTube DLP, which we'll show you how to use. Or it's going to mean, or you're going to get an FFmpeg error, which just means you have to rerun the process. And I just got one of those. So what FPS is doing is it is doing multiple songs at once. When you do a big playlist like this, and keep in mind, you can do one song at a time, it's going to have the tendency to fail. If you see this error, just leave it be for now, and when the process is over, as a heads up, what you can do is on your keyboard, if you hit the up arrow key, it'll actually bring up the last prompt you do. Just go ahead and rerun the command, and anything that you've already downloaded, it'll already skip. It'll literally, to give you an idea of how that's going to look, I have a little bit of an image here, and it just says skipped. See, exists, duplicate. Doesn't want to do this. It's not going to download it, so don't worry about that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this for now because I don't want to download, but as you can see here, it's downloading them as an MP3, and if I actually go to mp3tag, you actually don't need mp3tag, because I'm actually going to show you how to. I used mp3tag because I like to mess with the metadata, but I'm going to actually show you how you don't need to. But if you want to use the mp3tag, by all means, you can. But if you look here, it has the cover art, it has the title, it has the artist, it has the release year, it has the track that it was on the album. So it has all that embedded into the music. So this is very useful when you're loading up programs like MusicBee, because I like to see the cover art of my music. I like to see the art. I like to know what album it is. And putting all that information for every song when you're trying to download, it's tedious. You don't want to do that. So this is a really good thing. Now, the other errors you may receive are a Yt-dlp error. What this usually means, when I've got this at least, it usually means that the video, I've actually received this before and I rerun the process and it works just fine. So this could mean just rerun the process and it may work again. It just may be UTL just having an error. The other thing is if the problem keeps consisting, like if you're running it again and you're getting this error, this could also mean that the video may be age restricted. Now, since by default SpotDL does use YTPD to download its music, so by all means YTPL and Spot are just the same things, but for every strange reason YTPL DL, which using the cookies, can bypass the age restriction thing. SpotDL can't use it. I don't know why, but this is why we would have to use YTDBL to manually download what we need. So the other thing that you may receive is a lookup error. The song may not exist. This could be if it's a very niche song. I know I have one song that literally only like 70 people a month listen to, by all means. So I made sure, like, I was like, it's getting harder to listen to this song, and like the only place is on Spotify. Surprisingly enough, it wasn't even on YouTube. So it may not be on YouTube, or for example, this song, the song on YouTube is not the name of this, so it will grab the name and it will look it up on YouTube, but for every strange reason the artist has their their song name almost looks like it's like a lyric like someone has taken their song, put lyrics on it and posted it onto YouTube. That's how they have their video. I don't know why. This is the official channel, by Lord. But this also may mean you may need to take the song, go to YouTube and look for it, and download it yourself. What we are going to do now is I'm going to show you guys how to use YTDBL when you have to download these manual songs. And to give you an idea of how much of the process, out of the 570 songs I downloaded, there was only 3 I had to manually download. And I would much rather have to only do that with 3 than with 573 songs, by all means. So after you're done with that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to now go to Google, and you want to look up Yt-dlp. And there is a dummies guide, but I'm going to be showing you how to use it here. This does work a little bit differently, but you're going to go into their GitHub, and instead of scrolling down to the installation, you're just going to go to the releases, and you are going to go ahead and download the Windows release and extract it into a folder and put it on your desktop like I have. Now, unlike YTDL, you can actually see I already have a file here because I was kind of showing off actually how to download it. YTDL is gonna, you don't want to install it, so you're not gonna boot it up from the exe. If you try to, it's gonna give you an error. Do not, you're gonna call it from the command line instead. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna open up a terminal within this folder, allow you to actually call it from here. And the cookies file, it's gonna be a little bit different. So SpotDL needed of a higher quality to verify your login, so you needed to go to the YouTube Music. The cookies that it's going to want is the cookies from the I've got it directly from the video itself. So when I went to the video itself directly, hit get cookies, and I got cookies from that page. But you could try it from there. I would just recommend grabbing it from that one video and then just having a couple of cookie files, in my opinion. But once you do that, you can get, just to make sure it's all working, you can type ytpl help --help, and then as long as it loads all of this, you're good to go. Now, there is going to be a few extra parameters that we're going to have to do, and you don't have to do them, but if you don't do them, it is going to be a little bit of an extra step. But if you don't want to add parameters, I didn't add them, so by all means, don't. But the default thing you're wanting to do is you're going to do ytpdl. It's going to be ytpdl DLP dash X. This dash X is going to go ahead and put it in a download only the audio, because ytdpl can be used to download videos. Some people use it, but this is only going to download the audio. It's going to be, I am getting the exact command because I also kind of forgot the exact command, because just making sure I'm typing it in right mainly. Yeah, okay, so you just need that. By all means, you can also, if you really want, you can do audio format, and put in a different format, but by default, it is going to put it in Opus. This is a good thing because unlike SpotDL, it automatically puts it in Opus and it doesn't need premium, supposedly. I'm not going to try it because I don't want to deal with the error, but by all means, you have different audio formats to work with. But afterwards, you would go ahead and put the thing. But the last thing is if you just put the YouTube URL in, it's not actually going to go ahead and embed any of the things. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put in a extra command instead, and it's going to be embed dash meta. Oh wait, my bad. You're going to put the X command in the end. The first thing that you want to actually put in, and that's why I was forgetting, is this. You need to put in the cookies thing, so so it knows what cookies. And I'm pretty sure that is just making sure. Yep. So there is two different types of cookies commands. So you either have the regular cookies, and then just put in the cookies.txt, or you could do. Now I did not get this to work, but some people have. You can do cookies dash from dash browser, and then put in the browser. This did not work for me, so cookies and cookies.txt it is. You're going to do dash x, and then you're going to do dash dash, and then this is how you're going to go ahead and get the embedded for your video. So it is going to be embed dash metadata. Now it's going to take the metadata. So now all you're going to want to do is grab the YouTube. So I'm going to go ahead and go to it's best to go to YouTube Music, because the YouTube Music, not just YouTube, because YouTube's metadata may be different from YouTube Music. So go to the YouTube Music. I'm going to go ahead and grab the days and days metadata for the song for the specific song, fuck it. So once you have it, you're going to see the YouTube, it has the .youtube. So I'm going to copy this, go over here, place it, and then I'm going to go ahead and run the command. Sign in and confirm your age. I may need new cookies. This cookie file may be out of date. That tends to happen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a new cookies file. Export, and we're just gonna go ahead and put that in this folder. Delete the YouTube music part, just leave the cookies part. And then we're gonna just run the command again. There we go. And you could see that it downloaded it as Opress. And if I go to, okay, there it is. I was like, where's mp3tag? If I go to it, it downloaded at least most of the metadata. Again, this is why I don't preferably want to download it from the metadata, because this just glitched out. It's actually not even the correct release year. The release year is 2011. So I would not recommend downloading it from the metadata, and I can show you what happens when you don't do it from the metadata. So if I load up the command prompt, and let's just not embed the metadata, because YouTube's metadata is a little bit different. And that's the one thing I like about Spot. It embeds the metadata that comes from Spotify, so it's a really good thing. But we're going to go ahead and just download it as it is. So now we have it. I also like to rename it because sometimes it just adds this weird fucking naming scheme. So leave it as, I like to put days and days dash, fuck it. Let me actually remove the space that's in the beginning of the fucking thing, because I see that space, and that's gonna OCD trigger me. So now we have days and days, and now if I actually go into mp3tag and I check out the metadata, it's gonna be blank. This is where you can go ahead and download mp3tag. I definitely recommend doing this if you have to manually down your songs. And I understand that adding the metadata can be a little bit of a pain, but if you don't add the metadata, when you view it in like a music player, it's gonna look blank. And preferably, I like to have it, so the best way to do it is with mp3tag. Just look up mp3tag, go to it. This is a very much easier because this is a program. Just run the exe, and you know, I have it on my desktop and I use it for a lot of other things because I just, there's a lot of things that have metadata that you don't even know about, and you like to just do that. Afterwards, once you have that, again, you can go ahead and open up with, if I can open up with mp3tag, and then I already know the make sure you click on the file thing so it can actually allow you to open up to edit. So we know the title, it's fuck it. The artist name is Days and Days. The album name thing is I know what it is. It's fucking, I don't know how to spell fucking taxidermy though, but it is Rogue Taxidermy. And the release year of it is, if I remember right, it is 2011. Give me a second. Days and days. Fuck it. Release date. 2013. My bad. By all means, I was wrong and it wasn't even correct. And I can also look up what track number it is on YouTube as well. I know I'm doing this off screen, but by all means, I'm just going to Google and I'm just seeing it. I do know I already have it by all means. It is track number 2, and I can see that like right there. But I already know it was track 2. And they do have a few genres. They have a bunch of genres that you can pick from. And then for the cover album, you're actually just going to go to edit, go to cover, and then add cover. This is where I can look up, you know, again, Rogue Taxidermies. Go to their image. I can just, you know, save the file. And then what I can do is I can go into here and then add the file. And then I click on this little save thing, and then boom, it's now in the metadata. So now when I load up the music, it's gonna work. I do hope this tutorial helps for anyone who is trying to download their music, because this is something very useful. Because now you can use programs like Music Bee and just have all your music on file And even it's a great way to preserve music as well, because again, I have a song on here that only 74 people listen to. So by all means, because it is the song that I have specifically that 74 people listen to is a cover of a Japanese version of a song. So the Japanese version, by all means, is popular. I don't mind it. I actually play it on Osu all the fucking time. But when I'm listening, if I'm just casually listening to it, I like to be able to sing along with it. And I'm still trying to learn Japanese, so I'm not fully fluent. I'm not even fluent in it at all. I know how to say like Mizu ta guhan, but that is very minuscule, basic stuff. And by all means, I can't very speak it. But the this is a great way, and you can use the music beat, and then if you are using an Android, you can use Ox Oxio. It's a very simple UI. There's a bunch of other ones you can download ones on the Play Store, but this is a very nice simple one. I liked it. It got the job done. Um, and that. But keep in mind, again, if I go into my actual documents and I look at the music FLAC, which is actually where I currently have it, and I go to the properties. Again, this is taking 12 gigabytes of storage, both on my computer and on my phone, and this will grow as I expand this library. But again, I can kind of show you if I go into the properties of the songs and I go into details, I can at least see where the bitrate for the audio. This is 110. It's different for every song because different songs are recorded at different bitrate. But if I go into the MP3 ones that I downloaded, properties, go into details. The bitrate was only done at 128 because that is how it is done. So again, keep that in mind when you are doing this. So if you have the storage, I 100% recommend lossless audio. This is a very, very nice experience. And also a thing, Spotify doesn't actually pre-exemply have lossless audio. So to be able to have a lossless audio experience, I actually realized that music was sounding better when I had officially downloaded it. Well, not officially, but when I had downloaded it on my own terms and had the files itself than using streaming. But if you want to get away from the music streaming apps and everything like that, this is definitely a good way. The other thing you could do, this is just a last minute thing. If you don't actually want to use these tools, I don't know who's going to be watching this video and be knowing how to, but if you just want to move your playlist over, you can always just do a Spotify to music playlist. But a lot of these have a limit to how much you do, and if you're someone like me who has other songs in one playlist, you usually go over that limit, and they want you to pay like $10 just to transfer your music over. And not everyone likes YouTube Music's UI, so and I understand that. I don't like it. It's not the best. So but yes, so with these three programs, you can essentially, from any point from Spotify, YouTube, download the music. Sometimes, depending on the song, you may have to go ahead and go into it and add your own cover albums and metadata. But this is at least a good way to streamline it so the amount that you have to manually do is not as much. And again, I only had to manually download 3 songs out of the 573 songs. So it was definitely a way better thing than that. And now, if for whenever I want to, I do still have it, but I only have it because I do have the ad version on here. But for every point, at least on my phone, I am using Oxley. So I do hope you guys enjoy. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. And if you have anyone else who might be wanting to do this, definitely share this video with them. Because by all means, this is something very useful, and I think a lot of people can definitely benefit from it. So I do hope you all do enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.